not get a chance to watch any clips. I've been busy like all day as far as the original, so I'll try to remember. In fact, I should have like zipped through my book because there's some things about the book that I know were not covered in either.
Yeah, but how can you read that book? It's like what, 1,200 pages?
Well, yeah, I guess. Hi, everybody who's joining in. Yeah, I'm bummed you couldn't make it out either. You have a sick little one, Trish. I'm sorry. Trish was going to try to join me at the theater. I had put a buzz out telling everybody, hey, I'm going to Greenback and I'm going to watch this movie, which is kind of funny because I don't ever go to scary movies by myself. Even though I know how this is going to turn out, because I just heard that Pennywise in this movie is just horrific. And so I'm sitting in the way fucking back with my popcorn, and I'm like, I'm not lying to you, Matt, and everyone watching. I watched 35% of this movie like this.
That's a good way to watch it.
Like this. I had to. I didn't cover my, usually I cover my ears, but I just did this. So for everyone who's tuning in, if you want to see, if I'm pointing at the right, okay, you're to my right, but I don't know if everyone's watching to your left. Thanks to modern technology, you are looking at the very first person that I ever came out to. Right here. This gentleman, Matt, a.k.a. Kid Krueger, in 1997. You threw your computer, Samantha. Seriously? So, God, 1997, you were a baby. I'm all trying to look at you, but I'm going to look in the camera. You were a baby, Matt. You're not a baby anymore.
Yeah. And your hair was down past your butt.
Yes. My hair was past my ass, yes.
Yes, it was.
Oh my gosh. And you know, a little story, guys, and then we're going to go right into the movie review. Yeah, John, whatever. John, I was in 7th grade. So I started working for Hollywood Video back when people went out and rented videos. And it was my first job after having my daughter. I was going apeshit, being not working for a whole year, being with my kid, which was still a good thing that I got to be with my kid. But I really kind of wanted to do something. And so I worked part-time at Hollywood Video. That's where I met Matt. And I always tell this story, Matt, because it's hella funny as fuck. So we're there for a meeting, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and it happens to be Easter. Because why Hollywood Video decides its employees should have a meeting on Sunday morning Easter, I don't know. And what happens? There are literally people outside waiting to get in. And do you remember what you said, Matt?
Doing something holy?
Yes, you said, gosh, everybody, we're not opening it. I want you to go do something holy. It's Easter. And I was like, I love this guy. We're going to be friends. And then we became roommates. I came out to him, and then we became roommates, and then the rest is history.
Yeah.
So tell them a little bit about you, and then we'll go into the movie. Especially your Kid Krueger thing.
What?
That's your Kid Krueger in your video, your YouTube channel.
Oh, yes. I do have a YouTube channel, which is mainly about horror and my fascination, my sick fascination, love, and obsession with horror. So I like to do like Halloween vlogs. I like to do horror hauls where I buy horror-related objects and unwrap them in front of people. And I do a lot of horror movie reviews because basically 90% of my movie fascination is horror. So
yeah, you like to love Marilyn Manson.
Oh yeah. Please. He has a new album coming out.
Yes, he does, actually. Yes, he does. So, yes. And, in fact, you've been kind of sidetracked, and that's why you haven't had any new videos out yet. In fact, if you get a chance, if you're in front of a computer, because I'm not, I don't know, if you can, no, I guess maybe you can. If you can put the link of your YouTube in there, if not, I'll do it later, because y'all need to subscribe and follow him, because he's funny as fuck, and he gives really good reviews. Which is why we're doing this review together. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said
probably. Oh, whatever. So, you saw it twice, right?
Yes. Don't judge me.
I'm not. I just watched it today. In fact, I watched it at 2:20. Now, the backstory is you and I both have read the book. You and I both have seen the original, which was actually a made-for-TV movie back in the 80s.
Right. It was like 1990 when it came out on
There you go,
ABC.
1990. And it was made for TV in, I believe, 3 parts, correct? Was it 2 or 3? 2 parts?
Two.
It was only, okay. So, because the first half of it was about the kids, and then the second half was after they grew up.
Right. Like kind of the way they played it was when the miniseries starts, the murders have started again, and so the adult Mike Hanlon calls up all the adults and tells them they need to come back, which then goes into the flashbacks of everything that happened to the kids. And then the second half was when the adults come back.
Right, yes. So, show of hands who's watching, or just put a thumb or whatever if you've already seen either of the movies, either the old one or the new one, or you read the book. Because I'm just curious, because I don't even. My
Wow.
music to play. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna turn off my stereo. Sorry about that. I didn't even know my car was on. Okay, there it is. There we go. So pipe in and let us know if you've seen either movies, the original or this one, the remake, or you read the book. There's nothing really to spoil, so fuck you.
Right.
Matt, go ahead and go first on what you thought of the remake, comparing it to the original movie.
Okay. First off, and I may get a lot of flack for this, but Tim Curry, love him to death, love pretty much everything he does, and he was a great Pennywise, but he was not the Pennywise from the book.
Agreed.
I gotta say so well. So, like going into this one, if you're expecting a rehash of that miniseries, which if you go back and watch that miniseries now, the writing was terrible. Like, wow, it was like melodramatic, lower grade soap opera kind of stuff.
And they
So,
had a book.
yeah, yeah. But this one, like comparatively speaking, this one they did change things from the book, which I think were for the better, especially going from a book to a film. It's two different mediums thing. So I thought all the changes were warranted and good. And I thought this one in the original miniseries.
Wait, say that again.
I thought the tone of this 2017 version was way more Stephen King than the original miniseries.
I agree, actually. Tammy asked, how long after the book did the movie come out? Well, I think he wrote the book in the 70s, didn't he? Or the early 80s?
The book was 86.
Okay. Well, I think it was early 80s. I'm in my car. I didn't have a chance to grab it.
Oh, snap.
86.
But yeah.
So about 4 years after.
Mm-hmm.
He was a hot commodity in the 80s. His books, he turned, I mean, we're talking Carrie. Well, that was the 70s. So Carrie, Pet Cemetery, Salem's Lot, which was originally from Jerusalem's Lot, which was from Night Shift and all the short stories.
Right.
The Lawnmower Man, which had absolutely nothing to do with the fucking story. The Shining. The Shining, I was impressed with the direction they went with it, using Jack Nicholson, because the kid in the book is so brilliant. There was just no way they were going to find an actor at that age who could portray, in my opinion. So I think going more horror and going with Jack Nicholson was smart on The Shining.
Yeah.
My feeling. His books are super thick. It is a huge book. And I know, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there in the book, doesn't the female character sleep with all the boys?
Yes.
She
And that
has
has been
sex
like a
with
huge, yeah, that's been like a huge bone of contention, pun intended, about the book. And Stephen King says he's defending that scene still to this day in the book, but it was basically about the kids before they go up against Pennywise. They have to kind of gird themselves and usher themselves into adulthood before they meet up with him, because they don't believe that as children they could defeat such a foe. So, and I guess in the early script by Fukunaga or Fukunawa, who was going to direct this one originally, he had a similar scene, but it wasn't sex. It was more of just like a kiss bonding kind of thing between all of them. So I don't know. I think the story works better without it.
Yeah, I can see where he's going with it because what okay, so you do feel it's better. Pennywise in this movie is a lot more horrific. He is scary in
Yeah,
this. Um
yeah,
I know there were mixed reviews. I loved it.
right.
I felt it was a true movie. It wasn't full of quick scenes. It went gradual like a Stephen King novel does because it
Yes,
only goes from the summer when they're out of school. Um,
right.
I loved that it had a solid plot. I thought all the kids that were cast were excellent in their roles. Of course, they're a lot more to them. It's like, especially the kids that kept cussing. I thought that was funny. Um, and like the phrases they would say, which you couldn't get away with on TV in the 80s or 1990. So, but kids are kids. I didn't know, I was curious to know how far they were going to go with the whole daddy's little girl concept.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
thought, are they going to show anything? Are they going to show flashbacks of anything? Because she's being
right,
molested by her father, which
right,
explains why she's so the way that she is. She's just brash and she just can kick ass, and because she's got this pent up, frustration and whatnot from the fact of what she deals with her father at home. Um, I really liked how the bonding happened. That's why I understand why Stephen King wrote in his book about them having the sex, because the fact that it's like a murder mystery, that the kids figure out that these murders are happening every 27 years and really only to kids. It's almost like if any adults get caught up into it because they just happen to be in the way. He really goes after children because children are susceptible to, their fear is stronger in them as children, which is what he feeds off of. So for Stephen King to write in his book, well, if we become adults, we will have a stronger bond. I liked in this movie, they just showed that the kids just were no longer scared, which
right.
kind of reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, sorry, Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Like I like the fact that like you said, this was like a complete movie. This wasn't just a bunch of like scenes tied together just to like freak you out or make you wet your pants or whatever. It was like you actually like this one is only like taking place in half of the book, and the movie is over 2 hours. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it
But
was
it's
2 hours and
it,
25 minutes, I think.
yeah, and it sets everything up so beautifully because like you honestly care about what's going to happen with these people. And each one is a complete, well-rounded individual. So there's no
Yes.
like throwaway parts.
Nope. Nope.
So I
For
love
what was it? 6 characters. They were all distinct. And I love that it's only part one. So now
yeah.
I'm interested in seeing what they do with part two. And there better not be a fucking stupid spider at the end of it, like in the. That was the corniest bullshit ever.
Yeah, yeah. That was because they had a budget of like $3 apparently. So they're like, "Hey, look, let's make a." I'm like, no, no. But then again, if you read the book and you know like what they go up against, the kids go up against in the sewer, there was like no budget for that at all. Like,
No.
I don't think that even could have translated to cinema, especially like a TV movie.
Which is why with CGI in place now, I'm looking forward to seeing how they turn that around. It's and the fact that they really fed on each individual fear, which reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street, which I believe. Hey, side note, here in Sacramento, because they always do the old movies, and you can see like all these movies for like so much money. They're bringing Freddy Krueger. They're bringing the Nightmare on Elm Street back to screen, and The Princess Bride in October. Who knew?
That's crazy.
It's just kind of crazy. So not that like sideswipe that, but it made me think of that. So was there any parts of it that you felt either wasn't believable or could have been without or should have been different? Like, how did you feel about, especially with the kids suspended and all like it looks like it was since the dawn of time.
Right,
All
right.
that shit,
That
right?
yeah. I loved the final set piece of that movie. Like that whole lair sequence was visually breathtaking for me because like once you realize like they float is like literal.
Yes. You finally realize he's not talking about balloons.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I loved the whole visual thing and the fact that everything was built out of children's belongings. Like it was just I don't know, this entire movie, like I wouldn't like so many horror movies these days like rely on the jump scare and people like call that, oh, that's a scary movie if it makes you jump or whatever. This movie was just unsettling. Like from the
Yes.
very first scene. Yeah.
It gets under your psyche. In fact, one of my passengers, I was telling her that I saw this movie and she read the book. She saw the original. And I told her, you'll really like it. You'll really appreciate it. And she says, her kid keeps bugging her to want to go see it. And I'm like, how old is your kid? And she says, 10. She goes, oh, but she likes horror flicks. I said, yeah, but this is different. This one gets into your head. So you may not want to bring her. It really fucks
Yeah.
with your head. Not
Yeah.
like Twisted Jigsaw, which is coming out. I saw the preview to that. Not that kind of twist, but enough, especially in a child. I can't even imagine what a child would think about watching this movie because these kids are so believable in their roles. So believable in their roles.
Right. And they
Excellent
go some
casting.
dark. Yeah.
Yes. So that last scene was super creepy. The way that he just transforms in this shaky like he just was creepy as fuck. Like it scared me. I won't lie. I'm sitting here, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm in the way back of the fucking theater and I'm like this, and he's scaring the shit out of me.
Right.
Ugh. So I probably missed some scenes because I was like this, like and I'm squinting my eyes through the dark because fuck that.
Right.
I don't do horror movies and I don't do scary. So I was really
Yeah.
proud of myself. Oh, Alexis, watch the original. Well, of course you can watch the original, Allison. It was made for TV in 1990. But
Yeah.
those kids carried it
Exactly.
really well. Even though it was written poorly, the kids carried it, I thought. Right? Did the kids still, do you still feel the kids in the original carried it well?
Yeah, I think like in the original one, the kids were like Tim Curry, like he was cool, but like he was way too jokey. Like if you go back and watch it, he's a really goofy clown. Like, and the kids I thought were excellent in that in the original. They like pulled it off really well. Um, I think like I was trying to figure out a word to describe this new one, why I thought Bill was so good, and I think the reason I love Pennywise so much is because he's straight up hungry. Like from the get go, like from the moment like he meets Georgie. I mean, he's drooling. Like,
I know it was gross. And how Georgie
yeah,
wasn't
and
scared of that. And then how
I
vicious
know.
he was and how vicious he was with Georgie.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
That's
I
another
mean,
thing.
that,
Someone's
ugh.
treating these like they're brutalizing those children on this movie screen. It blew me away, actually.
Right? So the moment you see that scene, it already set the precedence for what to expect for the rest of the movie. There was like, I'm pretty sure like it's because of CGI and they can get away with what they get away with, but that kid had to act like he was being attacked. And
Yeah,
he did a really good
yeah,
job. And what was he all of? Probably 7,
yeah,
6?
exactly, exactly.
Ooh, so anything else you wanted to add on this on it?
Uh, no, I'm just so excited being a horror fan that this movie is the highest grossing opening weekend for a horror in history.
Wow.
Second highest rated opening for an R-rated movie right behind Deadpool. So I'm just really excited to what this means for horror going forward because this means that a lot more horror is going to be greenlit. A lot more people are going to be taking this seriously. Like they haven't even cast the second part yet. They're writing the script now for it, the second chapter. Every actor in the world is going to want to be a part of this film. So who knows who they're going to get cast
If
as
they're
these kids grow.
smart, this is how I feel about this. and you
Yeah.
tell me if you agree. If they're smart, they will not cast well-known actors, because nothing ruins great characters like
Yeah.
putting like legendary actors, because now you're not looking at the character, you're looking at the actor.
Exactly. It takes you completely out of it.
Because look at Harry Potter. They took a bunch of nobodies. I mean, the older people, okay, they got away with like 3 or 4, but all the kids were nobodies. And so
Exactly.
when you see them, that is Hermione. When you see him, he's Harry. You don't think of their real names. That's how storytelling and character should be. I really hope they don't, and please don't put Samuel Jackson in this. Please. I do not need Samuel Jackson in every fucking movie that comes out. I love the man, but I'm tired of his mug. Tired of it.
I know he was Tarzan. What's that about?
What?
Yeah, Samuel Jackson was in the newest Tarzan movie.
I can't. I'm leaving. I can't. No, I'm kidding. What? When he was
No,
in
I
the
agree.
when he was in the Kingsman Secret Service, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
he's not in the sequel, I don't think, because I saw the previews for that, and I can't wait for that to come out. No, but so
Right.
that's the thing. I really hope they do not cast well-known people. They need to cast. They need to give the chance of a lifetime to people really trying to make it who aren't well-known yet. Even if they've done some stuff, they just cannot. To me, they can't be well-known. I need to believe there are these characters. You know.
Right. Well, and I think, and I believe in like the director and the producers of this doing the right thing that way, because number one, they got all the unknown kids. Number two, they gave the penultimate role of Pennywise to a young, fresh-faced guy. I mean, he is a Skarsgård, but he has done very little. People are still like, he's too young, he can't do this, and he pulled it off like gangbusters. He
Holy
is,
shit! Yes. I will
yeah,
probably go see it again. In fact, I'm supposed to go see it with Lydia. She couldn't get away to go see it with me today. I'm like, oh girl, I'll go see it with you again because it's good. I literally would see it again. I didn't realize it was the highest grossing of a horror flick, which is awesome. That's great. Um, Definitely don't bring your kids. Those of you, if you have triggers, don't go see it. Uh, other than
yeah.
that, other than that, yeah. I think it was. I don't think it dragged at all. I thought it was good. So honestly, I give it a 10 out of 10 recommend.
Oh yeah, me definitely too. And I have to say, it definitely you. There's so much to take in when you're watching it. So it bears repeat viewing. I have seen something new each time I've seen it, and it just gets like I even get emotional at the end. Like
Yes,
this
I did
movie
too.
art, and how often can you say that in a horror film? Like this makes you feel things, like good things and bad things, but in the end, it's just a completely solid cinematic experience.
Thank you. Solid cinematic experience. Perfect way to put it, because I agree. That's probably why I really, 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 really enjoyed it.
Really, yes.
Really. Well, okay. I want to thank you so much for piping on in. Like I said, those of you who if you weren't on in the beginning, this is my original old time friend. I first came out to in 1990. Do you realize we're celebrating 20 years of our friendship?
I know this is like
20.
a milestone.
I just don't know which month it was.
That
Was
I'm
it
not sure either.
was it summer? When did I start a Hollywood Video? I don't even know. If my kid was about a year old, I would almost guess it was towards fall. So I honestly think we're right at the 20-year mark, you and I. 20
I think we are.
years. 20
Oh,
years.
look, my sister said, "Hey, love you, guys."
Aw. Your cuz watching. So 20 years of fabulous friendship. Thank you for being the first person I ever came out to. And being so
Well, thank
awesome and gay.
yeah, and remember, thank you for our first gay Christmas where we had a pink Christmas tree.
Oh, right. Oh. And then,
You got all-
oh my God, we had a lot of fun living together. That was great. And then I remember when I asked you to babysit Sam and she threw up on you or she shit on you. What'd she do?
She all over me.
Yeah, she threw up all over you. I thought she pooped all over you. Not that she. Hopefully, she's not watching this because I just embarrassed the shit out of her. Because she's gonna be 22 next month.
Oh my God. Now I feel really old.
You should feel old. And her and I both are gonna audition and hopefully be cast in a movie being filmed here in Sacramento about a martial arts fighter and hopefully getting speaking roles. So I'll keep you posted. So then I will come up and visit you. Whoever wants to road trip with me to Oregon, you're more than welcome. Although I might fly. I take that back. I'm probably gonna fly because you said you could pick me up. So
Oh yeah.
once again, this is Kid Krueger. What is it? Kid Krueger 75 on YouTube.
It's kid_Krueger 75.
Okay, Kid_Krueger. You know, like Freddy Krueger. Kid__ Krueger 75. Subscribe to him on YouTube because he does his horror channel where he reviews movies and he likes to buy fucking things and then he likes to open them up and he's funny. So I love you, Matt. All the
I love
way
you.
from Florence, Oregon.
Yes. Which is very much like Dairy, Maine.
It's like what?
Dairy, Maine.
Oh, speaking of which, I'll never forget. I don't know if it'll be in the second movie, but in the original movie, if you remember that actor, when he got to the town and he goes, "Smell that dairy air." I have used that line ever since that. What was that? 1990. Smell that dairy air because the town is called Derry.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was to me that was funny as shit, and I've been using it ever since. So thank you for the review. Both of us recommend you see it. We both believe it is an incredible sequel or remake. We both believe that this actor nailed the Pennywise that should have been done like the book, and are looking forward to the second installment, which will be about the adults, which they're writing the script as we speak. And damn, I guess we'll have to come back and do this again for the sequel.
Absolutely.
So please look below. The link will be there to follow him on Facebook. Let me know if you have, if you've seen it. I just want to know. Just type in if you've seen it and what you thought of the movie. And on that note, I think we bid everyone a fond farewell. I love you, Matt.
I love you too. Thank you.
Bye.